Hello and welcome to Simply Sport with me Neeraj Prabhu. In today's program, we are meeting GFA's Executive Secretary Alberto Culasso. You have just recently taken over as the Secretary of GFA. Right at the outset, how would you describe the state of football in Goa? Does Goa find itself at the crossroads, as they say, of football?
Goa for the last 15 years or 20 years has progressed a lot. And the progression has continued with various committees have changed, various factors have affected. But the progress of Goan football has continued. And today we are, I can say, the best state as far as football is concerned in India. We have got best clubs. Three of our clubs will be among the four. Our national teams also are doing, state teams are doing quite well. And Goa, by its size, its composition, is a very football-friendly state.
Yeah. Right. True. When you say that Goa is the best state in football right now, when we say about Goan football, there are various levels of football. There are grassroots football, the youth development side of it. Then there are inter-village footballs. Then there are divisional competitions, second division. Then we have professional league. Then the I-League, of course. And various levels have the various challenges basically. Do you think, like, moving ahead, we need to take some big steps and try and raise the profile of the sport in order to, boost the standard of football in Goa?
Football, is a dynamic sport. It keeps on changing. And we have to keep abreast of these changes. If we do not do that, we will fall back. Goa has adopted various programs over the years. The programs have to be reviewed continuously. Wherever they have not met with the success that was expected, maybe new programs have to be introduced. But the ones who have met success has to be continued and expanded.
Yeah, right. Just recently there were some issues with regards to the timetable, and probably some clubs had issues in the second division football. Are all those issues sorted out?
See, we will have to have a better calendar next year. Goa Football Association has got a lot of competitions. Competition that is spread very throughout the year. And during the monsoons we can't play football.
Right.
So there is a problem of that also. So, but I think if we do the calendar properly, we will be able to have a better schedule.
Right.
And there will be less competition in the clubs.
I think there was a program, there was a plan by FIFA to give artificial turf to Goa, and you were Secretary of AIFF that time. What's the latest on that? Are we getting artificial turf?
The artificial turf field in Duler has already been tendered by FIFA.
Okay.
The tenders, I think the last day to submit the tenders is the end of May. After that, FIFA will be evaluating it, and work to have the artificial turf in Duler will start definitely by mid-October.
So that would solve a lot of problems, right?
As far as the Tilak Maidan is concerned, there is some legal issues raised by the government, which are, as far as the lease of the ground is concerned, which we are trying to sort out. Otherwise, we will have to opt for another venue in Goa.
Okay. Just recently there were some issues with regards to impersonation, and Benjamin Silva, probably the person in the eye of the storm basically.
We have received a complaint about impersonation, not exactly impersonation, but some age problem.
Okay. So
that was discussed at the last executive committee, and the committee has decided to send a show cause notice. The show cause notice has already been served, and a time has been given to them to reply. Once their reply comes, it will be circulated next meeting of the executive committee, and the decision will be taken.
If you look at the entire picture of Goan football right now, would there be any issues that need to be solved to go further with regards to this new constitution? That
see, one of the things that we are lacking in Goa is dedicated football infrastructure.
Yes. Yes.
We have problems in getting grounds and getting, though government here has built a lot of grounds, but they are not dedicated football grounds. So we are trying to impress the government to get some dedicated football infrastructure for us. In fact, the committee last meeting decided that we should meet the Honorable Chief Minister and also the Sports Minister and place before him various requirements, various needs of football in India.
Okay. So infrastructure, as you have mentioned, it's a very key part of development of football. Now in Panji, we used to have a Bandodkar stadium at Kampal, so it was demolished for by the past government for whatever reasons. Is there any plan to rebuild it, and what's the latest on that?
As far as I know, the past committees have tried their best to get this ground again. We will continue our efforts.
Okay.
And I think that we should convince the government to build at least a small stadium there so that we have another venue for football.
Yeah. Because I think because of non-availability of that ground, the calendar suffers of Ilas zone, right?
Yes, it is non-availability of grounds the biggest problem to complete our calendar.
Okay. Now coming to the refereeing part of the entire football setup in Goa, even the last committee, last secretary had harped on this, that there is a shortage of referees for officiating the matches. Is there anything thought about solving that problem by the new committee?
See, referees, first of all, whoever is refereeing, they are the most, theirs is the most thankless job in football.
Yes.
Whether it is at a village level or at any level, it becomes very thankless.
Sure.
And because of the criticism the referees faces, the problem the referee faces, there are not many people who want to take up referee. One suggestion was that to ask all the clubs to give us one referee. Every 2 years if they give us, we have got nearly 180 clubs affiliated. If every 2 years they give, we will have some lot of new referees.
Yeah.
Because it is the clubs who always criticize the refereeing is not good. But I think we have to work together for this.
Okay.
Bigger base of referees, I think, will improve the refereeing also in Goa.
Right. Going back to the time when GFA were on the verge of appointing a secretary, and there was quite a lot of heat generated in the GFA members when your name was mentioned. What was going through your mind that time when things were in the discussion stage?
See, so first of all, when I gave up the AFF job, it was not in my mind to become the General Secretary of GFA. Okay. But certain circumstances made me take up the job. I know, this is all the result of the heat generated during the last elections of GFA.
Right, it was fiercely contested.
Yeah. But I think all that's forgotten.
Okay.
I think I have no ill feelings to anyone that has opposed me. It is a democratic right.
Yes.
I hope to work with everyone together and to take GFA to the next level.
Right. Okay.
I have been in GFA secretary various terms for 13 years. And whenever I was there, the committee has always worked together. And I think one of the biggest factors for development of football in Goa was the unity among the committee. I will not keep anything on my mind.
Okay.
In fact, I have been in a position that I was criticized more than I am now. I have been in AFF and it was...
Definitely.
So I am used to it. And, I don't react to media reports.
Right. Okay, so basically that is one way of shutting out and doing your own job when you don't react to media reports. If we compare football administration, there have been so many lacunae. With regards to, if you compare like some sport like cricket, which is doing very well in India, the administration level, everything is done in a very spick and span manner. But when it comes to football, there are various clashes between the calendars. The tournaments are not being run in a proper manner, like I League clashes with Santosh. And even former India coach Bob Houghton had an issue. He always said there are so many stupid competitions where the national players should not be playing. So has the AIFF that time taken a serious note of that and tried to work on putting the tournament calendars in a very scheduled manner?
Let me tell you one thing. As far as administration is concerned, recently during a SAF meeting, the Honorable Minister of Sport, Mr. Ajay Mekam, he made this statement that football was the best administered federation in India.
Okay.
And he said, I have joined recently and I got this feedback from my people in the sports ministry.
Okay.
So I am not telling myself, I am telling you this. Of course, cricket has got a lot of money, and cricket is by far the #1 sport
Yeah.
in India. So
Definitely.
there is no question of competing with cricket. Regarding your other point that about scheduling,
Yeah.
yes, we have had difficulties in scheduling. And there has to come, a time has to come when professional football and amateur football are separated. So you cannot mix up I-League with tournaments like Santosh Trophy, tournaments like youth tournaments, even local leagues. So there has to come a time when there is this separation. And both FIFA and AFC have advised the AIFF to do this. And these changes in constitution that they have asked, the changes they have asked, is to go to that level. So ultimately there has to be a separation. I think this year the Santosh Trophy may not initially have that charm because there are not many players, but I think it is good. It's given an opportunity to many young players to participate who would not be able to participate if all the star players who are in the I-League would participate.
Now coming to the latest controversy or latest gaffe by the AFF. A player of Shillong Lajong, he was registered with 2 clubs, and the second division I-League campaign is now over, and Lajong have qualified on paper. Has Vasco, who have finished third and missed the promotion technically, has Vasco presented their case, and what's the GFA thinking about that?
See, Vasco asked JFA for a meeting, and I had a couple of meetings with them.
Okay.
And where we went through this, and we, along with Vasco people, we have drafted the letters to AIFF on this subject. But then also the JFA representative, the Goa representative in the AIFF, Mr. Joki Alemo, has been briefed about this.
Okay.
So that if this comes at the meeting, he will be aware of what is the fact. So Vinu and Selvin Botel and I met Joki and gave him all the correspondence and briefed him about this and what was the exact case. So we are making a concerted effort that if there is anything, Vasco should get justice.